Hello, 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 influencers. It is officially 10 o'clock. So I'm going to actually jump right in. I do not own the rights to this music. And again, I'm still learning how to share the live out. So if you are on, please share this live out. Tonight, we're going to be talking about recognizing your worth, recognizing your value, to know your worth. And I am Shay, the founder of Wow Inspired. Wow stands for Wisdom Optimizes Winning. And tonight I said that I was going to bring some wow facts to you. So let me start there. On this week, over the last couple of weeks, I have been going through an interview process for another position. Yes, that's right. Another position outside of the state, actually with a company called Edna. And not that I did not enjoy my job, and it's not that I don't enjoy my job, because I actually love what I do for a living. The reason I began to look for, or not even gonna say look, but as things came across, and it seemed interesting, I started to apply for other positions, was because I feel like the job that I do, it's an amazing job, and the services that we provide in our office is extremely amazing, as well as extremely helpful. However, I do feel that there is not enough awareness in the community, that individuals know exactly what we do. So I'll just stop right there to elaborate. I work at the American Job Center for the Department of Labor License and Regulations. My primary function is to assist job seekers with building a resume, writing cover letters, just gearing up and preparing to find employment opportunities and or transition between career fields. While, like I said, I enjoy my job, I love it. I love what I do. I love working with people, as you all know. Anyone that really knows me knows this. Anyone that has ever come into the office and actually had an encounter with me knows this as well. Again, if you're on, please share this out. So the wow fact that I wanted to share with you is that after going through 4 different interviews for a community development coordinator position, I received a job offer. And I'm going to be completely honest with you all. I received the job offer and I accepted the offer. And I accepted the offer after being sent the benefits that go with the job. So they didn't send me the salary offer until the next day. They sent me the benefit package, and I'm like, oh, this is good. They have tuition reimbursement, which I graduate in May. Whoop, whoop, whoop for me, with my degree in behavioral health. But it was my desire to continue on, or it is my desire, and I shall continue on to obtain my bachelor's in psychology with a minor in political science. But when I was looking at the benefits, I was super excited. Like, yes, they offer tuition reimbursement, as well as great health benefits. However, after looking at the benefits, I was all excited, like, yes, this is what I want to do. I'm going to be in the field. I'm going to be talking to people. And even though I'm not going to be working for the state anymore in this position, I can still inform those people that I encounter in the community about the services that are provided at the job center. So I was super excited. So they sent me the salary offer, and that was good. I was like, yeah, okay, this is a little bit more than what I'm making. However, when I looked at the offer letter, it highlighted some specific things, and I had questions about those things. Here's the wow fact. The wow fact is, once I got the offer and I began to ask questions and I began to get feedback, I found out that Wisdom would not have me to accept the offer. Yeah. So a person would be like, well, what? So you accepted it and now you don't want it? Absolutely. So the whole point of that I'm making is that you may have opportunity placed before you, but you must use wisdom in order to make decisions, and don't be hasty in your decision making. So today while I was at work, this topic came to me: recognizing your value to know your worth. When you think about the word value and you think about the word worth, they are kind of interchangeable. But what I did was, of course, this is a teaching moment, as Wow Inspired is an organization that educates, serves, and supports aspiring leaders as well as career professionals to re-energize, revive, and ignite their passion to walk into their purpose. So when looking up the definition to value, it had many different definitions. However, the one that stuck out to me was the value is something, the regard to which something is held to deserve, something of importance. Or value could mean the estimate of monetary value. So when we think about value, one of the things that come to mind is quality, right? So understanding, the quality and what your value is first understanding the quality of who you are, the qualities that you possess that make up the person that you are, right? So just that alone, another definition of the word value is one's judgment of what's important in life. So not just you, but what's important in your life. It's so easy. It's so easy to say, I want to go after my wants, but sometimes you have to understand that it's the need that trumps the want in that particular season of your life. So just understanding that your value also has to coincide with what's important in your life. So when I think about quality, I also think about the importance of benefits, and the importance of benefits of, understanding, having high regard for yourself. So moving on to worth. So in order, the definition of worth is the level at which someone or something deserves to be valued or rated. However, again, these two words are interchangeable. But you notice that when I posted the topic for tonight, recognizing your value to know your worth. And the reason why I put recognizing your value is in order to know your worth, you must first recognize what you value, what qualities that you possess, so that once you're able to recognize what you value and those qualities that you possess, you won't settle or be satisfied with the mediocre. And it's not easy to have this discussion, because a lot of times people will say, she thinks she better than me. Would he think somebody owe him something? No, it's just really when you understand your value, you just don't settle and you don't take anything. So that's one of the things I wanted to just give to you tonight, is that you have to understand your value. You have to know, in order to know your worth, the first part of knowing your worth is understanding your value. So even in a situation when I began to ask questions after receiving the offer letter, I began to ask questions about, different benefits, vacation benefits, sick time. Some of the other questions I asked was about mileage reimbursement, because it was a traveling position. And what I had to realize is that while the benefits were that I seen look very appealing to the eye, however, those benefits were beneath what I'm worth. it was beneath my value. Does it make me better because I say that? Absolutely not. But I know the quality that I possess in the value. Because of that quality, it increases my value. And because my value increase or enhances, because my value increases, it also enhances anything that I'm connected to or anything I'm a part of. So it does not make me self-centered. It does not make me arrogant, but it's just what it is, right? And what I really wanted to get into tonight was, I always try to cross-reference because, like I said, it's good to have good knowledge, but until you actually put some type of principle behind the knowledge or the wisdom, then what are we doing, right? So I just want to talk a little bit about Nehemiah. Nehemiah in the 6th chapter, Nehemiah was building a wall, and Nehemiah in the 6th chapter was experiencing some opposition because Nehemiah was fulfilling a vision that God had given him. And in that vision, while it took Nehemiah a little longer than what he intended, not what God intended, but it took Nehemiah a little longer than what he intended, people around him started making mockery of him. What are you doing? They sent messengers to relay messages to him to try to distract him. Just like people will come to try to distract us from the purpose and the plan that God has called us to. So we have to be very careful when understanding the distractions are going to come, right? So in this, they came to him and they presented him with, these distractions to take him off course or whatever, and he didn't lose his focus. They came to him not once, not twice, not 3 times, but a total of 5 different times. And his response was, why should I leave what I'm doing and come down to you? Did it make him arrogant? Absolutely not. Did it make him better than the next? Absolutely not. Nehemiah was just laser focused, and that's what we have to be in today's time. We have to be laser focused on our dreams, our goals, in order to really fulfill the purpose and the plan for our lives. We are influencers. We were called to influence somebody else, and the way that we influence them is to make the greatest impact on them, that they may be inspired, right, to pursue their purpose, not just follow in the shadow of us. So that's exactly why this movement is called Wild Inspired. So after I talk to you, after you being an influencer, talk to somebody else and you impart some of your wisdom into them, when they leave you want to give them that wow moment, like, wow, I didn't see it from that perspective, or I didn't think about it like that, right? And after you give them that wow moment, it should also be a pivotal point for the individual to then take steps forward to pursue their purpose and to walk in their purpose, to pursue their plans. However, at the same time, influencing someone else to do the same. So it's almost like they say, pay it forward. In order for me to pay something forward, I have to be given something, right? Or I have to be, or someone has to impart something in me in order for me to pay it forward. So that's exactly what I'm saying tonight. When you recognize your value, you identify your worth, so you're not settling. And even though people may say, oh, she thinks she's better, or oh, what gives her the right or the authority to say, yeah, I'm not going to take that, or I'm not going to settle for that. Even though people may say those things, don't allow it to make you lose focus and your confidence about what you are doing in your life. Because someone else, whether they open their mouth and say, hey, I'm watching you. Hey, you inspire me. Hey, could you tell me this? Believe me when I tell you someone is watching. You know how I know? even in these live videos, whether people come in, they comment, or they even like the video, the number of views let me know that someone is watching, right? So I have to be very careful to not allow those that don't want to see me to walk in my purpose, to those that don't want to see me, hey Ingrid, those that don't want to see me to pursue the very thing that God has for me that's going to help somebody else. Those very things that come to as a form of a distraction will literally make me cause someone else to go in error, or someone else to be stagnant in pursuing their gift, pursuing their passion, right? Or walking into their purpose. So we have to be very careful. So the one verse I do want to give you is Nehemiah 6:16. It said, when all the enemies heard about this, at this point, Nehemiah he didn't allow the distractions to keep him from building the wall. So at this point, Nehemiah took him 52 days to build this wall. His enemies were scheming to harm him, scheming to distract him, scheming to cause him to quit. But Nehemiah stayed laser focused and said, I know I have a work to do. So even though it took him 52 days, in his time of opposition, he did not allow distractions to get him outside of his assignment, right? And with that, Nehemiah recognized his worth. So a lot of times people come at you, nitpick, and say, oh, well, girl, I know you wasn't cut out to do this work. I know that, you didn't have what it took anyway to do what it is that you say you're called to do, right? So you have to be very careful to identify to recognize your value in order to know your worth, so that you are not entertaining every distraction that comes your way. You're not always starting and stopping. But at some point in time, you have to use wisdom to say, I recognize the distractions. I recognize what's happening. But even in these distractions, I'm going to stay focused because I have a goal. I know someone else is watching, even though they don't comment, even though they don't reach out to me, yet they're watching my life. They're watching how I'm building. They're watching the consistency in what I'm doing. So guess what? They are inspired to do what it is that God called them to do, right? So it says, when all of the enemies heard about this, all of the surrounding nations were afraid and lost their self-confidence because they realized that this work had been done with the help of the Lord. If I had to do it on my own, let me tell y'all, I would not do it. I could not do it on my own. I couldn't do it on my own. You know why? Because my flesh would be like, you know what? You keep coming for me. I didn't send for you, so you keep coming for me. Let me go ahead and get up off of this post and go. Let you see what's really good. But the reality is that when God gives you the strength and when you really get to a place where you're laser focused, I don't care what distraction is coming at you, you ain't coming down, or you're not going to be distracted from the assignment because you know your worth. You recognize your worth. You recognize the value that's within you. You recognize the qualities. You know why? Because a part of quality is your character. And because you recognize your value and you identify those qualities as lies in your character automatically lets you know everything that comes your way don't need to be addressed. Everything that someone says, everything that comes your way don't need a response. Sometimes I say all the time, so sometimes no response is better than a response. Right? So I say that to say tonight, recognize your value so that you know your worth. You're not having those doubts. You're not being easily distracted. You're staying the course. And I'm telling you, even in this tonight, it was like, oh, I got this to do. I got homework to do. I got that to do. But you know what? Somebody is depending on the 10 o'clock p.m. live, this live, to help them to get some strength and some encouragement to make it through tomorrow, to make it through the rest of the week. Just like someone is depending on the live on Saturday morning, even though I'm going away, I'm going still away to a quiet area to be consistent in what I am doing, because even in the distraction, I can't lose focus because somebody is being inspired by me just simply being obedient and being consistent. So tonight, I encourage you to recognize your value. Understand that a part of your value is the qualities that you possess that make up your character. And once you know those things, you know your worth. So you are not settling. You're not easily distracted. You're not losing hope. You're not losing confidence. You're not saying, oh, because it's not happening in the time frame that I so desire it to happen in, it's not going to happen. Wisdom let me know, even in my decision, while the picture was painted and it looked beautiful, oh, this is what I want to do. But the reality is, wisdom would say, is this what you need to do right now? Is this a move that you really need to make right now? So again, not saying that it was a form of a distraction, but just imagine what the outcome would have been if I made a hasty move. Right? A hasty move. So let me tell you, I'm like Nehemiah. I believe that even in my job now, that the Lord himself is going to make things work so that I not only be getting what I need, but I'm also doing what I want. Right? I'm also am able to get in the field to let people know, listen, we're just not a building that we're just sitting in there. No, we do some good work in there. We have individuals that work with you with your resume. I mean, I'm not talking about giving you any type of resume. Anybody that have come to that job center and that I have worked with, they will tell you, some people have come to me with where they have paid people to help them do a resume and not get no job leads. So I believe God on tonight. And like I said, the wow factor of today is don't make hasty decisions. Really, 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 really utilize wisdom to understand that even when something looks good, even when it's what you want to do, utilize the wisdom that you have to identify, is this what I really need to do right now? Even though the benefits may look like it exceeds the cost, but in the long run, you have to literally begin anything with the end in mind. Anything you do, you have to begin with the end in mind. So the benefits may look good and it seems like it's not going to cost me now, but what is it really going to cost me in the long run? So really tonight, my encouragement is recognize your value, to know your worth so that you're not settling, you're not easily distracted. And again, I'm Shay. I'm here to inspire the influencer in you. Be encouraged, be inspired. And again, remember, if no one tells you, hey, LaDanya, Mom Johnette, and thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for supporting the movement, because Wow Inspired is not a brand. Wow Inspired shall be a movement. I don't ask anyone, well, what do you think on all of this? Because I know you have to literally start to step out with the certainty and the assurance from God that when you step out, you're going to make mistakes. Everything is not going to be peaches and cream. It's not going to be perfect, because remember we talked about last week on the live that there's a difference in perfection and then, actually doing things with the spirit of excellence. So understand that it's not going to be perfect. You're going to have some good days. You're going to have some bad days, but be like Nehemiah. Don't allow the distractions to consume you, because if you allow the distractions to consume you, you will then lose the sight of your value and you will start to compromise what you're really worth. So I love you all to life. Have a great rest of the week. And again, be inspired. And if you need any additional assistance, while I do these lives as a form of education, as well as support, encouragement, inspiration, I am also available for individual or group coaching. I'm actually working on some curriculums to provide some some different programs as well as workshops. And I graduate May 22nd. And many of you that have been in constant communication with me know after I graduate, we are going to be doing book clubs. Yes, we're going to have a book club, and we are just going to fellowship with one another. We're going to inspire one another. And guess what? We're all going to be that influencer in which we were called to be. I love you all. Have a great night.